Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Meet again with me here, Miss Kudriyah. Good morning, all students. Okay, after we meet again after 1 week, we have been a rest, so we all now have to start our lesson. But before we start our lesson, let's pray together. Pray start. Pray finish. Okay, so how is your all day? I know we all know that we have been in quarantine at our home, but it is okay if you just can stay at home at this situation. It is better to stay safe. I hope all of you still can study using all of your devices, so let's have fun study with this online class. And now, for today's lesson, we will continuing our lesson last week. So all of you please open your textbook on page 25. Before we start, I want to recall all our last subject and the previous pages. At the previous lesson, we have learned about how to state that we can do something and to state that we will do something in the social function of transactional interactions involving the act of giving and asking information related to ability and willingness to take an action. And for today's lesson, we will continuing learn about how to state that we can do something and to state that we will do something in a text structure of oral and written transactional interaction text involving the act of giving and broadcasting information related to the ability and willingness to take an action according to the context of its use. So this material is very important for us. It is also because we always have been using to state that we can do something or to state that we will do something in our daily life. Not just us, but it is widely used. So related to the social function, the previous lesson, in our daily life, it is to keep the harmonization in all social activities by asking and giving information of willingness and ability to do something in the proper ways. By knowing how to start it and respond it, so did you guys know how to start this such conversation? If you don't know, we will learn it today but step by step in this lesson. So now let's start the lesson and open on page 26. As you can see, there is an example of a passage about Venus' willingness and ability. So what we are going to learn today is how to distinguish the structure of the text and make some passages. But before we do that, we must understand all of the context of the passage. So let's read the passage first together. So let's start. The passage is about Vina. Vina can do many things. She can read English stories. She can answer questions, but she cannot ask questions in English. She is also good at music. She can play the flute. She can sing too. She can sing English songs and folk songs. She can swim and run, but she cannot play basketball. She does them regularly. She can fry eggs and bananas. She can cook rice too. She has two hobbies. She can knit. She can also draw pictures. So that's what written on the passage. So what we're going to learn is that from that passage we can see that passage is about Venus' ability, that is reverse to our topic, that is stating that we can do something or will to that what will do something. So now I have an important information here that how to recognizing the structures of the text. First, we have to find out the chronological structures. Second, find the main idea or categorical structure. And third is compare or contrast structure. Also for the last one or for the fourth one is cause and effect structure. And for now, we all have know how to distinguish by using all the four or step of recognizing the structure. So let's start identifying it sentence by sentence. As you know, beforehand, that is in the page 25, the previous page of the 26 about the winner's passage, there is a table that's showing us really the structure of the passage itself. But however, we have to prove it all that we can, that if it is all can be written in the passage is all based on what is written in the table that already structured. So also, as we can see in the table, there are some categorical structure, like the first one is name, and second is areas or field that consists of English, music, sport, housework, and others. So from the first sentence, Rina can do many things. As we can see from this sentence, we can see this is the main idea of the passage. Why? Because it is conclude all the content of the passage. And from the second sentence until the last sentence, it were the categorical structure based on the table. But it all have their own structure in this passage that are cause and effect and compare or contrast structure. So for cause and effect, we can see it is in the second and third sentence. And for compare and contrast, it is shown in the fourth sentence until last, because most of it are using word also, and, but, and etc. So that's why it is called or name it as the compare contrast structure of the passage. For cause and effect, we also can say cause and effect because in the third sentence and second and third sentence, it so there is a reason why she can answer a question but she cannot ask question in English. She just understand English, because as that she just can answer a questions but she cannot ask a questions. So that's why it's called cause and effect. So students, I have now all delivered about how we can distinguish or identify the structure of the tag and how the deliver or what step of the structure of the tag. So if you have questions related of today's materials, you can ask me, try to ask whatever that disturb you in your mind. It is also for your better understanding of today's materials about the text structure of transactional interactions involving the act of giving and asking information related to the ability and willingness to do something in a proper ways. So, okay, student, that's all I think for the material that I delivered to you all now. And I want you all to make a resume or a note of the important information that I have been delivered. Start from what it is the text structure and how it start and how it is responded in proper ways. From that note or resume, that will be your review at your home of what have you been learned at this is lesson, to recall all what you have been listen or you see or what you have been discussed with your friend, and also to keep you remember all of the material. I'm saying this also because the important information of the giving ability, that means I know you have the ability to understand all the materials by reviewing them all again and again. And also, after that you make a resume or not, I will give you some assignment that you can do it at your home. It is in a page 25 and 26. What we have been learned today is so that you have to make some passages in a page 26, but in the page 25 there is a table that you have to fill it first before you make the passage, so that you can easily distinguish the structure of the passage that you will make. It's easy, you just have to follow what we have been learned today, and there is some example that we already read it and try to examine it. For the assignment have to be submitted at our next meeting, same as last week. Again, I inform you, if you have any problem or difficulties, you can tell me right away. So tell me right away. And so for the leader of the class, I want you to finish all the assignment next week. So before the class start, I want you all to gather all your friends' work at my desk. Same as today, I have done correcting all your last week assignment. So again, Ahmad, I want you to take care all of this and give it back to the owners. Okay? So student, I think that's all for today's material, and we have to end this class by saying Alhamdulillah together. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. For all students, please stay at home and stay safe. Thank you for today. See you next week. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.